Hello, and welcome to Rafe's Tales of the Unexplained. What I'm about to tell you truly happened, and to me it is inexplicable. It began 53 years ago in Oakland, California. After my mother and father had broken up, my mother and my older half brother and I had to move to a new house with more affordable rent. And we found a little house on Reading Street in Oakland. You know, sometimes when people leave someplace, they leave things behind. I'm sure we did when we left our place on Lenox to move to Reading Street. And someone left something behind on Reading Street when we moved in. It was my half brother who found it. He's 11 years older than I am. His name is Don. And as we were putting things away in the kitchen, he looked underneath the sink. And that's when he found them. The shoes. The tiny shoes. The tiny antique shoes. They were something like a pilgrim might wear, with a tiny buckle, black leather with a wooden sole, the leather hammered in the nails onto the sole of the shoe. So strange, so small. They weren't more than 1.5 inches across and maybe 2.5 inches long, maybe 3. The thing about the shoes was that they were so small. No one could wear them. I don't think a baby could have worn them. But what was so strange about those shoes was that the soles were worn. Something wore them. My brother took possession of those shoes and he kept them in his drawer next to his bed, second drawer down, and I would sneak in occasionally and look at those shoes and marvel at them and think, what were these? Was it some sort of leprechaun or demon or what? I didn't know. But I would sneak in and look at them and wonder. As time went by, I kind of forgot about the shoes, and I moved out and started my life as a young adult. And it must have been maybe 15 years ago, the shoes came back into my memory. And I wondered about them, and I wondered how accurate was my memory of this. I called my brother Don, and he knew exactly what I was talking about. He remembered it, filled in a few details. I had forgotten that they were found underneath the sink in the kitchen. And he told me what had happened to them. Sometime, I'm guessing it's 1975 or so, he gave them to my Aunt Pauline and Uncle Jake, who collected antiques. They lived in Fresno, and they had a lot of outdoor barns where they would store things as well as in their house. So that's where the shoes went. By the time I had asked, my aunt and uncle were both dead. They'd passed away. So I didn't give too much more thought about it. But then, 5 years ago, I got a call from my brother. My cousin Daryl had asked my brother if he would help him clean out the ranch where my Aunt Pauline and Uncle Jake lived, that they owned, that my cousin Daryl inherited. While my brother was in one of those barns, in that incredible Fresno heat, he found a little chest, and when he found it, he opened the door on it, and there were the shoes. Decades later, he found the shoes. This was just 5 years ago. He found them. They were completely desiccated, dried out from the hot, heavy heat of Fresno and being outside in this barn. And my brother took them home, and he, using oils, slowly brought them back so that they weren't so very dry. He had the shoes, and I had to see them. We arranged for him to get together with me. And then I saw the shoes for the first time all those years later. Those tiny shoes that not even a baby could wear, but somehow something had worn them because they were worn on the bottom. My brother gave me those shoes. They're right here. The bottom. Something wore them. How big are they? On the inside, an inch. In length, 3.5. Who could have feet that small that could walk? What walked in these shoes? What wore these shoes? I don't know. No one knows.